Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you so much for clicking by. This channel is all about wine education, so I create video content to help you understand the world of wine more. And it's specifically designed for those of you studying the world of wine. So my presentations very frequently follow key text and key syllabus of major wine qualifications around the world. So if you are studying the world of wine, you will find these presentations very much on point and very useful for your examinations. Now, on this video, I'm doing what's called a short written question and answer video and designed around the WSET Level 3. That's the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. I'll be focusing here on the topics of Central and Southern Italy for this section. So the best way to utilize this is, in fact, to pause it when a question is posed, try and answer it yourself, and then I will walk through it. So press play and I'll walk through it as an examiner to see if your answers correlate with the examiner's answers. Now, this is going to be what I call a taster session. So a small session. If you want the full content of this, you'll need to go across to the Wine with Jimmy e-learning portal. You'll see the address for it there on the screen. That's e-learningwine.winewithjimmy.com. And you can find the link for that in the description below this video. If you do have a comment or a question about this video, or perhaps the portal and anything else related to wine, I suppose, please do get in touch, and you could do so in the comment section below this video. So let's get stuck into the taster of this, talking about Central and Southern Italy exam practice here. So one thing to understand here is that you may get questions on something like, say, Central Italy. We do see that frequently around the likes of Chianti Classico and Brunello di Montalcino. So please do put this on your agenda for studying, of course. Southern Italy, less so, but certainly Central Italy. Here you'll see a very classic label question, and you'll see it's Castelli Chianti Classico Reserva. So we're going to pose some questions and we'll answer them as well. Now, the first thing we see here is name the main grape variety for Chianti Classico and describe this wine. And this is a total of 5 marks. So the grape variety will get you 1 mark and then 4 more marks for the description of the wine. This is the Sangiovese grape variety, which is high in acidity, high in tannin. You get these red cherries and plums, dried herbs, and then spices from oak aging. Now, the 4 marks there are certainly going to be for the acid, the tannin, a fruit compound, and then maybe herbs or spices will get you those 5 full marks. It's very important that you look at how many marks are available. It gives you an indication of how much you need to be writing in your answer. So Sangiovese 1 mark and then 4 clear things about the style of this wine. Why is this grape variety, Sangiovese, well suited to this location? This requires you to understand where Chianti Classico is located. It is in that sort of central eastern part of Tuscany, which means that we're in that central Italy, of course, we're experiencing here a Mediterranean climate, which is going to be fairly warm. So Sangiovese is a late ripening grape variety, so therefore will successfully ripen in the warm Mediterranean climate of Tuscany. It's only 2 marks available here, for it doesn't need an essay. It needs to be very sort of short and sweet. And you'll also see on the label there, below Chianti Classico, is the word Reserva. Now it's going to ask you about this. What does the term Reserva indicate for this wine? So this is a Chianti Classico Reserva. In the case of Chianti Classico Reservas, the wine must be aged for at least 24 months, with at least 3 months of those in bottle. That is all we need here for 2 marks. So talking about the total aging and then the minimum amount of bottle aging from within that 24 months. If a Chianti was labelled as Gran Selezione, what does this indicate for 2 marks? Now, it's not actually indicated on that label, but this is a question which is just being added here. It really is around the grapes being sourced from a single estate. That's 1 mark and must be aged for around 30 months minimum in total. 30 months. That's an extra 6 months on top of a reserva. Now we've got one of these quite classic tabulated questions, which WSET can be quite fond of in their examinations. So what we are looking at here is comparing 3 white wines that we find within central Italy. So it says here, compare various, or rather, there are various white wines produced from central Italy. Please fill out the table below in terms of grape variety or grape varieties and style. And you'll notice here there is just 6 marks available. So you're going to get 2 marks here, or actually no, 1 mark, sorry, for each of the grape variety or grape varieties. And then the style, you get an extra mark, okay? And you'll see on the left-hand side, it says region and each of the key areas. So Orvieto, DOC, Verdicchio de Castelli de Jesi, DOC, and then Frascati, DOC. So let's go through the grape varieties first of all. Let's talk about Orvieto. So Orvieto is found in Umbria, the southern section of Umbria, and it leads with 2 grape varieties. There are others, but Trebbiano and Grechetto are the 2 grape varieties in play here. Now, you might know Orvieto. It's a fairly well-exported example that produces white wines very close to areas like Montefalco, for example, and Spoletino. Now, the style here is light, medium to high acidity, peach, and grapefruit. Now, that's a lot to write there. You're going to get 1 mark for mentioning the grapes. You're going to get 1 mark here for mentioning the style. I think it's important here, certainly, to mention the acidity and light combined, and then the fruits, something around those fruits on these. The second wine is Verdicchio di Castelli de Jesi, DOC. Nice and easy here. The grape variety is Verdicchio. It's actually given in the description of the wine, nice and easily. And the style here, light, high in acidity, apple, lemon, fennel, and almond. I think in this case, they're going to be giving half marks on this because there's only 6 marks available. So light and high in acidity is going to be 1 mark, 1 half mark rather. And then apple, lemon, fennel, almond, 1 of those will get you a mark, another half mark, sorry, again here. So half marks are in the order of the day. Now, I really, in hindsight, we should really have 9 marks available for this question, I think. Now, if you want to find out what Frascati's grape varieties are and the style produced from it, and there are a lot more questions added on, another 12 slides, in fact, you'll need to go across to the full version, which is on the Wine with Jimmy e-learning portal. You'll see the address for that there, e-learningwine.winewithjimmy.com. And then in the description for that below, you'll also find information around that as well. You won't be disappointed by signing up to the Wine with Jimmy Level 3 subscription.